So, there's a legit worry in the autistic community about us going extinct, or less people being born with ADHD, or a bunch of other things. And we don't want to go extinct, or we don't want to be lessened. And it's a legit worry because people treat us like we're diseased oftentimes in horrible ways. And then this whole project trying to identify us before we're born and stuff like that for abortions and stuff like and more. Beyond having all these other things going on, it's already happened to Down syndrome community and a couple other communities in other places of the world. Then we have that life has become harder and harder to succeed if you don't fit in, and people become more standardized, which makes it harder for us to be accepted in so many ways. Now, I am a strong believer in abortions because if a woman is pregnant and has a legit medical issue, this can be life-saving. If a woman has the possibility, so to correct myself, a person carrying a baby has a legit reason to get an abortion just because it's their body, their choice, and they're going to end up being the ones responsible, and that kid should not suffer a bad lifestyle because they did not choose to be born, and it can be a huge burden on whoever gives it, and plus it could be medically dangerous and all these other reasons, financial, everything. But it is also a concern in other ways, and also saying that you shouldn't get abortion because you should outlaw testing of disease and stuff like that, that's going to be impossible when you're forced once it's out there. I really think so. So what is the alternative? Well, the alternative I present a couple ones. One is acceptance. If we move to a society that can accept more different types of individuals, people will look down upon having neurodiverse children a lot less. And if we can move to, and that would just mean accepting just based on accommodations at work, school, but just talk in this, we don't treat it like a horrible disease in the first place. So then we don't have the feeling that we should eradicate it. Another thing that I think would help a ton is slow dating. And by that I mean, I think a lot of frustrations in marriages and problem is that people get with people they're not really as compatible with. And by that happens because it's easy to appear at a bar and appear all fancy and shit. Okay, maybe not for all of us, not for me. But then, or through a few dates, and then you get together, and then it all falls apart because you've been putting up a fake mask for everyone for so long. Or that you don't, or when you do stuff, you are constantly trying to impress the partner for the first part. Or that you don't really know or on the other hand, you don't know the person because it went too fast, and you think they're a kind person, but stuff comes out of the woods. So having a relationship becomes slower, but also choice to make kids and everything, just taking more time to really get to know one, and making it less of a false thing where it's about fancy presentation and stuff, more just about slowly getting to know one and slowly making choices, would be a lot bigger deal. Better. And I also think it would work a lot better for neurodivergent people because we're not good with fancy stuff. We're not good at being impressive on the spot, but we're more better at being authentically ourselves. But sometimes we're a harder group to get to know because we're not a typical person, and there's much more to us, and we might seem strange and weird and totally different in different contexts because you just don't understand us. So you have a hard time understanding if you compare as typical people, and also lets us get more time to get out of ourselves. So slower dating idea, and also more casual one where it's more about dating friends or dating people you already know to some extent. Another idea I have would be have a actually better welfare system, because having a better welfare system would mean that carrying kids are less stressful, so people look down upon having neurodivergent kids a lot less with all the stress from the difference, and they'll just accept they'll use the system a little more. But it also means that neurodivergent adults could neurodivergent adults could better not well could better live their life, and then the life of neurodivergent adults will have an easier life. They're more likely to have kids and make more neurodivergent kids. But also slower dating could also lead to more neurodivergent people find neurodivergent people they're more compatible with and make more neurodivergent adults. A fourth idea I have is to promote more of a non-typical relationships, and I spell relationships wrong. Let me fix that. Dyslexia. But that means that instead of having just you raise your kid with you, a husband and wife raise a kid, we promote more ideas of having the parents involved, having friends involved, having people have mobile partners in other ways, and all sorts of relationships that are just not traditional. But then you have more of a community, and if you have more of a community, you have more people to help raise your kid or help out, and the stress less falls on you. And the kid can also have a healthier lifestyle where they learn from more different adults that might help them in various different ways and stuff like that. So this relieves the burden, and if the kid has particular needs that society doesn't well equip for, other people can more help them. So much better. And yeah, also this make also neurodivergent adults are less likely to have normal friendships and stuff like that. So that also helps them just with their dating world and everything. If there's more non-typical relationships and there's less fancy expectations of one type. If we talk more about honestly about life, family, and dating, I think that would also help a lot more. And here's the thing. Abortion, again, is legit, but should you really have a kid if you cannot raise a kid that's anyway disabled or neurodivergent? Because the thing is, your kid could become disabled or neurodivergent by a freak accident or accidents later on in life. If maybe you should rethink twice if you can't raise one from the beginning because of a freak accident or something that could happen. Maybe we need to talk about how hard it is, how expensive it is. Maybe we need to talk about waiting longer in life to have a kid when it's you're better prepared and it's less stressful because you know yourself better. You're more financially stable and stuff like that. Or the ideal time, maybe you shouldn't idolize it at all. So when there's less, I don't want to say disappointment, but it is disappointment if your kid turns out not the way you want, because you're more open-minded and stuff, and you're already less stressed out and take that stress less out on the kid. And that could free up expectations there. We need to talk about how not everyone is meant for marriage, and because people get marriages that get married or have kids that are not meant to or don't get joy from it are more likely to take it out on the kid. And if the kid is disabled or neurodivergent or whatever, they're more likely to give that kid off time and blame them being disabled or neurodivergent or something, just because they're like, hey, this is why my kid is unhappy when everyone else has happy lives. And not everyone has happy lives. We idolize and make things, and we talk about stability and everything when it's not. We need to talk about dating and figure out new ways of dating, because dating right now is just very fake and not real, and that it's all about impressing someone when it should be about getting to know people. And it's also been, and we also try to use, we also start dating people not based on personalities or getting to know one, but just quick things like we just quickly look at how they look and say, hey, do you want to date? When maybe we should first get to know them and we should be dating friends or something that we already know some of our personalities, or maybe friends should be putting us and hooking us up with potential partners because friends know us better, and a friend of a friend is more likely to be compatible with us. Stuff like that, instead of brief, oh, I see this person on an app, they look good. And it's also really hard to start a conversation like that for many people. So it might open up with better conversations, and you might be able to find true love and then start a conversation with, hey, I saw your 10 profile pictures, they looked really nice. Instead of like, oh, we both really like so-and-so thing. Another thing that I think would really help is getting to know oneself a lot better. So the better we get to know oneself, the less likely we are to make a huge mistake about who we should be with, or we should be with someone in the beginning, and less likely the stress and stuff, and more likely we can be able to better take care of kids and blame the kids less. But society doesn't teach that at school or anywhere. We're just stressed out, and oftentimes society teaches us we're one way, but we're not. Society's like, oh yeah, we're logical, when you're not. Most people are not logical. You get upset and stuff over stuff that doesn't so make you upset. Stuff makes you happy and you have no idea why it makes you happy. But that's okay. People think they're all grown up when they're not, when they should still be playing with little toys, because the little toys make them happy. But they should do the little things all the time. And we force that on. And I think always we'll come together to better help the community without enforcing any strict, awful laws or horrible ideas on people. Well, thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers in a year and 4,000 watch hours, which is really hard, but with your help, I think I can do it. Also, if you have any ideas for future videos, comments or suggestions, or anything at all, leave in the comment section below. And feel free to DM me. I just don't want to give out my DMs to a wide range of people, so that's only if you know my DM, of course. Thank you very much again. Goodbye.